Hello, it's Karen Burniston here with an assembly video for one of our die sets. This is die number 1139, Animal Add-ons 1, and you can check out all of our die designs at karenburniston.com. Because it is an add-on set, there is a foundational die requirement, so you do need to have our die set number 1131, the Bitty Ball pop-up. And then as an option, if you would like to stack two ball sizes to get a larger body, you could add die 1117, our surprise ball pop-up. But you can absolutely make these animals just stacking two bitty balls together, which is what I will demonstrate today. So this add-ons set adds on the pieces to the bitty ball base die that you would need to fashion it as a cat, a pig, or a fox. You'll get the best results with our ball dies if you use 100-pound smooth cardstock, and our favorite is from the paper cut. We do offer that in exact packs on our website where we have already curated the colors to match our add-ons sets. Okay, if you are new to our ball dies, there is another video that you need to watch, and it is our Surprise and Bitty Ball assembly tips. That one will be linked in the description box, and it goes over in great detail how to assemble the balls using my favorite cardstock and my favorite rubber bands. So I'm not going over full assembly in this video. It's mostly a decoration video, but I did just want to show that I used my best practices assembly tip of adding an extra trapezoid on the inside of the balls on the rubber band sides so that it could handle a double rubber band. And then I also just need to remember that if I want to put a brad for my animals to spin in the card, I want to do that before I put them all the way together. And that's just for the body part. Then I'm using two of my favorite number 12 soft stretch rubber bands. I'll put a link in the description box. I just buy them on Amazon, and they are absolutely just perfect for our ball dies. So on all 6 of the balls, I am just doing normal assembly, going around and using a strong glue. I like my LINECO neutral pH adhesive in my fine tip bottle. We do sell both of those items on our website. I stretch the rubber bands across and into the hole on the other side. Then I give it a quick check, make sure I like how it's springing back up, and then I can connect the final 2 sides. So just standard bitty ball assembly. And after it's done, I can take a look, and if I have a couple wide gaps, I can go in and just push one side under the other a little bit, and that tends to really even them out. Then I just repeat that to make another ball. Then I'm going to glue the head onto the body, and I like to align these so that the rubber band sides are over the rubber band sides. So the flat position is usually an easy way to get good alignment on those two, and then you can see it's now ready for decorating. And then I assembled the balls for the cat and the fox in the same manner. Okay, ready to start decorating. I'm going to start with the fox, and before I even get to Animal Add-ons 1, I have several pieces that are cut out of the Bitty Ball base die set. So I've cut 4 trapezoids out of white. I've cut the smile and the circles out of black with double-sided adhesive on the back so that they're stickers. Then there's a die in the Bitty Ball that cuts the bear ears, and those work great as feet for other animals. There's also a set of arms in the Bitty Ball set, so I've cut those out of orange, drew some claws marks on with a black pen, and then I'm just brushing ink around the perimeter of the feet and the arms. So I'm going to spin this around until I decide which side I think has the 2 prettiest points, because that's going to be the front of my fox, and I'll start by just adding on the arms. And of course, where those go and at what angle, that's completely your vision. And I'm also going to add on the feet on the bottom of the ball. And I just want to make sure that when I add the feet that I don't pin down that brad, to where I can't open it up later to add it to a project. Now I'm switching to Animal Add-ons 1 and the pieces that are specific to the fox. And the 2 that do the tufts for the face, I'm going to leave those dies out because I'm going to use them in another way. But other than that, I've already pre-cut the other pieces out of the colors that I need. So a white little tail end to the tail, and then I like to brush it with a little bit of darker orange ink. And that can go either way. It's really just up to you as to where it goes on the back of the fox. The ears out of Animal Add-ons 1 have a little score line. You fold that to the back, and then I'm going to brush a little bit of ink around the perimeter, and then there are those ear center triangles that come in the die set as well. So I've cut those out of the lighter pink out of Exact Pack 1, and I'll just glue those to each of the ears. And you can definitely experiment with where you place the ears, but the way that you attach them to the balls is just using that tab that folds under, add the adhesive to that, and then you can put the ears wherever you think they look best on the fox. So I'm choosing to put them on the panels just outside of the 2 face panels at just a pleasing angle, and I just try to match it from one side to the other. And if you flatten the animal, you're able to really pinch those ears on until they set up. Next up, I'll do those face tufts that I cut out of white, just adding a little adhesive to the upper section of the face, and then just getting those where they meet kind of in the middle. And again, I can flatten to really press them on. So I decided to assemble my fox with a pointy face. Then I need to split the nose up the middle so that it can just meet in the assembled position. If I had chose to do a flat front fox, then I could have just left the nose whole. So it just comes as a single piece because you may kind of choose to do it one way or the other. There's nothing to say that you couldn't make an adorable fox decorating just a flat front to the ball instead of doing the pointy front. But if you do choose to do a pointy-nosed fox, then one little trick is to take a black brush marker and just color the orange cardstock on the edges so that it is less noticeable that that nose is split. Moving on to the eyes, I like to just add a little white catch light using a gel pen to the eyes, and then of course those can go wherever you like them to go on the fox. And you really can vary where you put those eyes, it'll give him a different expression. Since I chose to do a pointy front animal, then I also need to split the smile. So I'm just going to cut that up the middle, and just like I did with the nose, I'm going to put one on one half and then match it up on the other side. Then I can use my brush marker to just color the edge of the orange cardstock where the smile is to make that break less noticeable. For the fox that's shown on the packaging of the die set, I just used a circle punch to round these trapezoids, but I wanted to show in the video that you can use those tuft dies to round the trapezoids. So I'm using temporary tape to hold that tuft die onto the trapezoid at a pleasing angle, and notice that the wide end of the trapezoid is coming through the die so that it will not cut that edge. Then I can use the mirror image tuft die to cut the trapezoid for the other side. And the way I'm going to do that is to lay it blade side up over the first one and then just tuck a trapezoid in. I've got my temporary tape stuck to the underside of that die so that it will hold it in place in the correct position. And now I basically have mirror image swoops that I can use to die cut matching pieces for the fox's belly. I need two of each, so I can actually slide the other one behind the first one and cut them at the same time. So after running that through my die cutting machine, I have 4 of the rounded trapezoids, and I can choose to put those on so that he has kind of a wider belly or a tall belly. So it really doesn't matter, it's just how you want to arrange them. For this fox, I decided to go with a tall belly. So now I'm just gluing those 4 pieces on. Then the last piece to go on would be the tail. That can go on the right side, the left side. You can change the angle. It really is completely up to you. But one consideration is the size of the footprint of the flattened fox, because the angle with which you put the tail on can really change the size of card that you need to hide the fox in the closed position. So you might want to just check that against a grid as you're choosing a spot for your tail. You could even use a temporary adhesive to hold it on while you check that. And I ended up choosing a location where the width of the card I would need would be a minimum of 6 inches and the height a minimum of 5. The next animal I will assemble is the cat. First I'll work on the collar. So I've got a decorator trapezoid that I cut using the Bitty Ball set, and I'm going to take the short end of that trapezoid on my trimmer just under 3/4 of an inch. So about 1/16 of an inch shy of 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to trim it. And now I've got this piece I want to score at 3/8 of an inch from the bottom, so from the wide end. So I'm putting the wide end at 3/8 of an inch on my trimmer. I'm going to hold that in place while I score it. And I'm using an embossing stylus. You could use a bone folder, anything you have that can make a score line. And then I just fold that to the back. Now that lip is way too wide. It won't fit between the head and the body. So I'm going to trim most of it off and just leave a very small lip that I can tuck in when I glue these to the cat. And then now I've made that decorator trapezoid span the whole width of the Bitty Ball side, so it doesn't stop where the decorator trapezoid usually stops. It's going to meet up with its neighbor and go all the way around the cat. For one of the collar pieces, I'm going to pierce a hole in the bottom corner, and that's going to be for my pet tag. I chose the larger heart from the Bitty Ball die set, and I cut it out of silver cardstock twice. One of them has double-sided adhesive on the back, and that one's going to get a jump ring, a metal jump ring just placed into that adhesive so that it makes a little loop at the top. Then I can sandwich the other silver heart on the back so that I basically have sandwiched the jump ring between the two hearts. I think these are probably 6mm jump rings. It wouldn't really matter, but that seems to be a pretty good size. And then I'm just going to use the other jump ring to attach my pet tag to the collar. And it would be certainly nice to personalize that pet tag. You could use a Sharpie pen or something to write in the name of the pet. But I'm just leaving mine generic, so I'm just going to glue now that collar piece onto the front of the cat. Once again, I'm doing a pointy-nosed character, so I'm just having the pet tag be in the center of the 2 points that I think look the best. And I didn't use any adhesive behind the pet tag itself so that it can just dangle. And now I'm just going to go around and add the other collar pieces going all the way around the body. And if you choose to use the surprise ball, which is a little larger for the body of the cat, the measurements still work. Just use the decorator trapezoid that comes with the surprise ball and do that same thing of measuring just a little bit shy of 3/4 of an inch, score at 3/8 of an inch. There is a die in the set that will cut a pair of cat eyes. And that is optional. You could always use the little circles or ovals like you do for the other animals if you prefer. But if you do want to have the cat eyes, then die cut out of the color that you want the eye to be. So in my case, I decided on green eyes. And then I'm using the stencil feature of the die to add in the black parts of the eyes. So just stenciling them right on after die cutting. I'll use a white pen to add a catch light, and then those can be glued onto the face wherever I like them. And definitely experiment with placement on the eyes because the angle and the width, all of that really does change the cat's expression. There is a 4-piece nose that comes included in the Bitty Ball base die set for when you want to do pointy-nosed animals. So you could choose to use that for the cat, or you do have the nose that comes in the Animal Add-ons 1 that can be done the exact same way as the fox by just splitting it up the middle and then having those two halves meet at the seam. And I forgot to tuck the whiskers behind the nose, but luckily it's pretty easy just to peel those up and stick the whiskers in. So definitely attach the whiskers before putting the nose on. And then with the smile, it's the same as with the fox. I just cut it up the middle and then had the two halves meet at the seam. The same pointy ears and ear centers are used for all 3 animals. In this case, I'm going to try them at an angle on the face panels. So you really can experiment with ear placement and it will really change the look of the animals. The arms and the feet are exactly like with the fox. I just cut them out of the cat colors and then added those same claws marks with a black pen. And once again, you can really experiment with where those arms go, at what angle, whether they overlap the collar or maybe they start below it. I'm going to try them here on the front panels. And then with the feet, once again, they can go at whatever angle you like. Just make sure that you don't pin down the brad when you're adding the feet. The exact pack includes white, and normally I would probably just brush it with ink to make a tan color for the end of the tail, but I just went to my scrap bin and found a piece of craft cardstock to add to the tail. And once again, I had a consideration for tail placement in that the footprint of my collapsed cat wouldn't be too large. In this case, I can easily do a 6-inch wide card by maybe 5 inches tall. And then the last animal in the set is a pig. I'm putting a little adhesive on the back of the pig snout and then just putting a scrap of black cardstock behind there to fill in the nostrils. So this one's not going to be decorated as a pointy-nosed animal. It will be decorated as a flat front face animal. And so what I'm doing is just adding that snout to the lower half of the head so that it extends up over the seam when it's expanded. For the eyes, I'm using pieces that came out of the Bitty Ball die set. So there are 2 ovals in that set. I am using the smaller of the 2, and I've cut those out of white. And then to those, I'm going to add the little black circles, and on the black circles, I use the white pen to add a catch light. And then I just need to add the smile, and there's no need to split it in half for this assembly since I am decorating a flat front. Everything else is really straightforward. The ears are just going to go on those 2 side panels next to the face. I have my arms and my feet, same as the others. Instead of claws marks, I actually drew in little semicircles to kind of look like hooves. The Bitty Ball die set includes a bow tie, so I can add that to the front. And then the feet to the bottom, once again, just making sure that I don't pin down the brad. The pig's tail is not nearly as large as the one for the fox and the cat. I actually like to just put a little dot of glue out on the end and then tuck it in the closed position onto one of those back panels. And then I can always check it against a grid to make sure that it will fit in whatever card I have planned. So in this case, a 5x5 would be perfect. And I didn't like seeing the back of that black scrap on the inside of the nose, so I just cut a little scrap of pink, the same pink, to cover it. And that is the completed pig, ready for a card. Okay, so I've shown you how to make a cat, a pig, or a fox with these pieces, but imagine what else you could make. There's lots of animals that have pointy ears. Could you make a bat, a unicorn, an alpaca? I'm sure there's several dogs that have pointy ears. So really just explore how these pieces can be combined to make a whole menagerie of animals. Look at this cute card that Frances Byrne made using the fox, just popping up to say, "Hey Foxy, happy birthday." I like how Lois on this Black Cat Halloween card used both the biddy and the surprise ball, and then notice that she rotated the head just a little bit when she attached it to the body. And here's a good example of shaking things up. So Kelly Booth used leopard print paper. She decorated with the cat pieces as a flat front animal, and then look at the ear placement. So cool. And ending with a super cute Go Hog Wild card by Lois Bach featuring a pig. Animal Add-ons 1 is available at a lot of your favorite local and online retailers, as well as from our website, KarenBurniston.com. Thanks for watching. If you click on the website link, you'll go to KarenBurniston.com, where you can purchase these dies as well as find links to our other social media accounts. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out some of my other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.